Game one of the first round of the NBA playoffs is in the books here at Quicken Loans Arena. John Bozika, Kenny Rhoda along with you, some post-game analysis here via WHBC.com if you're watching this. And Kenny, we'll start right out with it. Cavaliers start slow in the first quarter. Things kind of got bigger from there. Indiana gained confidence, and they came into Quicken Loans Arena and got a game one win, 98-80.
Yeah, it was a rout, John. They dominated from the get-go, jumping out to a 25-8 lead. It was 33-14 after one quarter. The Cavaliers were not aggressive. They didn't play physical, and Indiana did both of those things, and it showed on the floor. And this is a team, I asked Victor Oladipo post-game, I said, did you guys, after that big lead, did that reaffirm your confidence against the Cavaliers? Because they won the season series 3-1, but you can throw that out the window because the team they played today, they didn't play in any of those 4 games. But here they are against a different Cavaliers team with the same result, an impressive 18-point win on the road. And if you're the underdog and you're going to steal a game on the other team's floor, it's usually game one. I was talking with Bob Kravitz. I'm name dropping like crazy here. Bob Kravitz from Indianapolis covers the team. And he said, I thought if they were going to get one on the road, it would be this game as well. So you steal game one. Now game two, it's house money. And then you get to go back to Indiana. Worst case scenario, 1-1, maybe up 2-0.
Cavaliers shoot under 40% from the field, under 25% from three. They were 8 of 34 from behind the arc. You're not going to win many games like that in the NBA, no matter what team you are, and then just 12 of 20 from the line. LeBron had a triple-double, but it's kind of masked by the fact that they lose. Kevin Love didn't even score 10 points, but had 17 rebounds. You go down the line, Kenny, not enough production where they needed it, and guys need to be more physical. I think that was the key. Indiana came out. They were the more physical team. They attacked from the start.
Yeah, and go back to the first quarter, John. LeBron James didn't shoot until, well, let's see, he shot at about the 2-minute mark, I think, but he got fouled. So his first official field goal wasn't until about 1:30 left in the first quarter. So he often says game one is a feel-out game, and he's out there trying to feel it out and try and get others involved. Today, with the young players, I was surprised he still treated it that way because of all the young players. And we saw Rodney Hood struggle a little bit. Jordan Clarkson struggled for sure. Larry Nance Jr. did okay, but these guys, for them, their first time in a playoff situation where their team is expected to win, and they didn't handle it well. And Kevin Love missed his first 3 shots, and then he was MIA, at least offensively, grabbed a ton of boards. But he's now the second leading scorer on this team. Kyrie Irving is no longer here to bail them out when they're struggling, and he can go one-on-one and get his and keep the Cavaliers closer, win the game. So LeBron's got to be more aggressive in game 2 from the get-go, and Kevin Love has to score 20 to 25 points a night if the Cavaliers are not only going to win in this series, but win down the road in the NBA Finals.
You know, you mentioned you talked to Victor Oladipo afterwards, and I thought the quote that stood out to me was that he said, "We're not going to fold." He said, we're in this to win this.
Yeah.
And that's the philosophy that they're taking. So many teams are scared of playing LeBron, scared of playing at the Q. Well, Indiana didn't show that. Their head coach didn't show it.
Lance Stevenson didn't show it.
He had
as
a
he
massive
tormented LeBron
dunk
again. Yeah.
early in the game. So
wow.
These are guys that are not scared of being in this situation, and where many thought that they may be, you know, now it's the Cavaliers' job to come back and rebound in game 2, and it's a position that they haven't been in much, at least this group of guys.
Never with LeBron James.
Sure.
A game 1 loss, first time. He's never lost a first-round series, and I think this is the first game 1 loss for him in the first round. So LeBron did what LeBron does. He threw up a triple-double. Not the greatest triple-double, wasn't aggressive early, but for the final 3 quarters, final 3 quarters he was fine. But the other guys really have to step up, and Ty Lue has got to go back to the drawing board, because if I'm Ty Lue, I can't start George Hill again. Now, he got hurt. He took that mean screen right over here from where we're sitting out on the floor and hurt his back. And I don't like anybody getting hurt, but I would start Jose Calderon. I said start Jose Calderon before the series started. Now, Jose didn't do much tonight either. He was 0 for 3. He was one of the Ofer brothers. There were a lot of Ofer brothers tonight. But I just think Jose Calderon is the best point guard this team has had this year, and I think now is the time to use him so you don't have to play LeBron at the point and play him 44 minutes in an 18-point loss.
Some of the guys in the locker room afterwards, at least Rodney Hood, said be more physical in game 2. They have to be ready to play. He said if we play with better pace, then maybe we can win. Speaking about his home team in the Cavaliers, they also said they can't shoot tight. Now, it did seem that way early on, but still, when you get open looks, even if you're a little tight, you got to make things work. You got to knock down some shots and at least establish an offense, which for the first 6 minutes, I feel like the Cavs were held at 4 points for the longest time.
Right. And the thing was, their first possession, they run a double screen low. Rodney Hood gets a dunk or a layup. It was a great well-executed
Perfect.
play, right? I'm thinking, great, they're going to attack it. Then they started settling for the three. And you have to have a feel to what's working and what's not. And when the three-point shot isn't falling, you've got to be aggressive and go to the basket. And the Cavaliers couldn't feel that, didn't do that. Some of that's on the coaching staff for not letting them know and designing plays that are, set to go to the rim and maybe get to the free throw line, even though they struggled there. So Cavaliers have a lot of film watching to do and adjustments to make before Game 2 on Wednesday.
Larry Nance said be more physical, be more aggressive as well. J.R. Smith echoed the same points. So I feel like physicality, being aggressive from the get-go is a big thing, and then rest for LeBron James over the next couple of days. Anytime you play
he's got 2 days.
Almost 44 minutes, it's really tough for him because obviously he's not the spry young buck that he was 15 years ago, but he still churns out great efforts every night. Last couple thoughts here, Kenny.
Okay.
One being, if you're the Cavaliers going forward from now, what are the biggest things going into Game 2?
Be physical. Go all Olivia Newton-John on them. Let's get physical. They want to play physical. We can play physical too. And it'll be interesting to see. Tristan Thompson got in for garbage time today. He's had some off-the-court issues, obviously. Hasn't played well this year. I'm curious to see if Ty Lue maybe goes to him in game number 2 off the bench.
Physicality.
Physicality. He's not the most physical guy out there, but the energy sometimes leads to physical play. Ante Zizic, you could use him if you have to, if you really want to get physical. But I think the young guys, they've got to shoot better. LeBron needs to be more aggressive from the get-go. Play similar defense to tonight. While it wasn't spectacular, it was solid. You held them to under 100 points. You should win that game when you do that. So right now, if you're Indiana, you're feeling confident. You're feeling good. You beat them in the regular season 3-1. You're up 1-0 in the postseason. If you're the Cavaliers, you got to find a way to beat this team.
Last question for you being this. If you're the Cavaliers, who do you need the biggest effort from in
Kevin
Game 2?
Kevin Love has to rise to the challenge. There's no Kyrie left. He's the superstar on this team next to LeBron James. He's the all-star. He's a double-double guy. I put it in my blog at WHBC.com. He's got to get between 20 and 25 points a game throughout the entire playoffs. Today, Kevin Love was 3 of 8 from the field for 9 points. That can't happen. And if it does, you're going to lose again. 20, 25 points, 10, 12, 15 rebounds a game from Kevin Love. That's what's expected of him now as the second go-to guy on this team.
He's Kenny Rhoda. You can hear him tomorrow on 1480 WHBC 3 to 7 with JT. His
I can't wait
always,
to find out what he thought about this game. That should be interesting, huh?
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Tune in.
You can hear my morning sports reports with Pam Cook coming up on 1480 WHBC. We'll recap the Cavs for you again there. Again, Kenny Rhoda, John Bozica along with you here at Quicken Loans Arena. Cavaliers fall in Game 1 of the first round of the NBA playoffs by a final of 98-80. Have a great night, everyone.